Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Tonight Show podcast for today, the 12th of March, live on YouTube. Hello, everyone. I'm your presenter, Charlie Tolhurst, tonight, and we're going to be guiding you through the next hour or so of great shows. Joining me tonight is my co-presenter, Zach Chambers, and also Dave Harty, an F1 fan. Hello, Zach.
Hello, Charlie. Hello, mate.
Well, we're going to start off with the sport. I'm going to get on to the topsy-turviness of Formula One's Australian Grand Prix in a little bit, because boy, do we have a lot to talk about, including my rant on F1's new regulations coming up in the next part of the show. But obviously, the first bit of the show, we're going to do the football roundup. One of my mates, Lewis, has sent a feature in that I'm going to play for you on the show. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to hear what he had to say for West Ham's performance against Brentford the other day. Enjoy this, guys.
West Ham versus Leeds United at the London Stadium. We feel absolutely blessed to be having all of the FA Cup games at the London Stadium. I think we've had 3 FA Cup games at London Stadium, and I tell you what, me and Jack have enjoyed every single minute of these cup games. Jack doesn't normally go to the cup games, and neither do I, to be honest, but I haven't been in such a long time. And obviously, because the FA Cup doesn't do second round replays anymore, it's obviously played at whoever's drawn out the top first, meaning their home ground, which is obviously West Ham. They were drawn out first between West Ham and Brentford. And then obviously Leeds is the team that's drawn out next to play West Ham at the London Stadium. As I said, it's been an absolute blessing going to these FA Cup games. Me and Jack have loved every single minute of it and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was a really good atmosphere against the Brentford game. I'm not going to lie, the fans were definitely very supportive of the team, and that's eventually what got us through and got us over the line eventually. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about this one, I'm not going to lie, because I so want us to have that Wembley semi-final FA Cup experience. I really hope I can get some tickets to that if we do progress to the semi-finals. But also, both West Ham and Leeds have never had that Wembley experience of being at an FA Cup semi-final. I think it would mean a lot more to the West Ham fans, because if I'm right in saying, the last time West Ham were at Wembley was when they got promoted from the Championship back in 2012, and since then we've never gone down. And actually, West Ham have never been to an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, so this would mean so much to the West Ham fans, and I'm 100% confident that West Ham can fix half of Wembley, if not the whole of Wembley, because I think West Ham have got more fans than Leeds United have. You know, I heard so many people in work today chanting Wembley, Wembley. But let's not get too overexcited here. We do have a game, and I can happily say that today is the 12th of March, that West Ham have won 2 games, drawn 2, lost 1. Leeds United, they're not really in good form, are they? They've only won 1 game at this moment in time. Yes, 1 game, drawn 2, lost 2. So I don't want to sound cocky or confident here, but I think it's there for the taking. I genuinely think West Ham have had a pretty easy route going to the FA Cup semi-final, and I think West Ham have got a massive chance of beating Leeds United. I think it's going to happen. I don't want to sound too cocky and confident, like I said, but Leeds United, they're there for the taking. They really are. And I do think as well that West Ham have got a better team than Leeds United. You know, Wan-Bissaka, Somerville, Jarrett Bowen, and I can't remember that player that came on against Brentford, that number 55. But what a player! He's already making an impact. We've just got such a great team, and you know this team doesn't deserve to go down to the Championship or be knocked out of the FA Cup quarter-finals. I'm going West Ham 3 at home. West Ham 3, Leeds United 1.
Thank you, Lewis, there for sending your feature, and I know you're certainly going to be wanting to hear about the F1 as well this weekend. Promise you, super clipping down Shanghai's long back straight will be embarrassing to watch because I can tell you now that for sure the football fans certainly be more interested in that. But anyway, I just want to come over to the FA Cup results whilst we're here. We'll get Zach's take on all that as well. Zach, what would you think of the FA Cup results? There was certainly a long match in West Ham's against Brentford and many other matches as well over last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm not surprised by his comments. I think he's got every right to be confident going to the next round. There's an opportunity indeed for the taking against Leeds United, and he's not wrong there. Although they did have to go to penalties against Brentford. They won 5-3 on penalties at the end of the day, but nevertheless as well, that was a bit of a yo-yo match, to be fair. Watching it, I thought it was a really good yo-yo match between the two teams as well. But yeah, it was a very there was a variety of results that I have to point out here as well. Most of the Premier League teams that were not facing each other made it through, with the exception of some of the ones on Sunday. But let me talk. We'll come back on that in a moment. Let me talk about the results that happened. First of all, in obviously order the earliest. So Liverpool got past Wolves 3-1. A little bit different to what happened in their Premier League tie that midweek. It was the opposite way around this time, with Liverpool winning 3-1. Mansfield gave Arsenal a bit of a tricky tie away, despite the fact they lost. Mansfield, I think, put in a good effort. They did lose 2-1 in the end, but performance was good for their stands. I thought their performance was very good. Chelsea was forced to extra time against Wrexham and 10 men as well. But that was a good match, is what I feel. Wrexham did hold Chelsea quite well, even with 10 men. Very good match. Manchester City dominant against Newcastle 3-1. And then we get to the Sunday's matches, and I thought they were very good. First of all, Championship Southampton knocking out Fulham 1-0. And the shock of the weekend for me was League One Port Vale through to the quarterfinals, beating Sunderland 1-0. An incredible result on that front as well. Leeds United took out Norwich City 3 now. We know what happened with the West Ham Brentford result. And that leads us to the quarterfinals, where the draw was made Monday night. And there's some crackers in this one, I have to say. The big tie of the quarterfinals is Manchester City v Liverpool. No doubt that is the tie of the weekend. Two big hitters fighting each other in that one. We don't have a confirmed date. Obviously, it will be the weekend, the 4th of April. But it will I suspect it will remain on the 4th of April, but at what time we don't know. Probably 5:30 or 12:30, probably depending on what TV does. Chelsea and Arsenal will also be on Saturday as well. West Ham v Leeds is likely to be a Sunday, possibly as well on that one. But yeah, some good ties, I think, as well on that one. Chelsea, Port Vale, Southampton, Arsenal. I mean, that Southampton's going to make life easy for Arsenal, no doubt about it. Port Vale getting a visit to Stamford Bridge is like massive, no doubt about it. I mean, can they win? Possibly. Obviously, it's very much possible. Will they win? Unlikely, but yeah, who knows? And then there's West Ham v Leeds as well. It's a really good matchup. Good set quarterfinals all the way. Roads lead to Wembley after this. 8 will become 4, and Wembley will wait at the end of April as well for these 4 teams as well. I just want to go over the European results, if that's okay.
Yep, Champions League was on this week.
Yeah, there's been a lot of European football on this week, actually. I have to say, not so good for the English sides this week. This has not been the finest of performances. But there are some hope from some others. So, for example, Liverpool lost to Galatasaray in Istanbul 1-0. I think Liverpool will be better the next round, next leg. Look, it's one goal at the end of the day. It can easily be made up. But Newcastle got a tricky job against Barcelona next time when they go away. Again, 1-1. They could have won it, Newcastle, but they gave them that stupid penalty towards the end. A ridiculous costly decision to give away the penalty at the very, very last minute. I don't know what they were thinking, honestly. There was some utter shockers in here as well. There were some 5-2 results. First of all, PSG 5, Chelsea 2. Unlikely Chelsea get through to the next round on that result. Tottenham Hotspur became the biggest Tottenham Hotspur side of them all. I mean, good grief. I don't know what's more popular at the moment: Tottenham Hotspur winning or Expression oozing having a rant on his live streams. Yeah, that was shocking. It was 4-0, 4-1, I think, by extra time by the end of the first half. It was that bad. Shocking. I mean, it was a disgraceful performance by Spurs standards. I mean, with Igor Tudor in charge now, they've lost all their games. I think they've conceded like 14 in their last 4 games or something like that. That's how terrible they've been. He's still in charge. He's still in interim charge, Igor Tudor. He's got Liverpool this Sunday in the Premier League. I mean, oh goodness me! I'll probably watch the Expression oozing. The funny thing is, my immediate thought when I saw the Spurs result was to watch Expression oozing online and then go on to listen to TalkSport with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy at 10 o'clock of the evening as well. I knew they were going to have a good old show on there. So, yeah, that was terrible. Bayern did well. Good. I mean, bloody hell, they did well. 6-1 against Atalanta. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch for Atalanta to win to get through on the second leg next week. Overall, Bayern Leverkusen held Arsenal to a draw. That's the 100% winning record in Europe for Arsenal gone this season, but they're still undefeated. But they need to win next time round. That's what you need to be doing. We've gone through the PSG, Chelsea as well. Bodo Glimt, with their very impressive season, continues around 3-0 as well against Sporting. And Real Madrid gave an absolute thrashing to Man City. That was a very un-Man City-like performance. 3-0 there as well. It was, really poor by Manchester City standards, no doubt about it as well. So next week, it's the same fixtures next week, but with the opposite, obviously, everyone switches venues now, and there's the second leg. The permutations are clear. Everyone needs to win their games to get through, I think, at least as well. It's highly unlikely. Don't think Spurs will go through. I don't think Chelsea will go through. I think it's too difficult for them. City's to stretch. I suppose it's possible. They could come out with some almighty comeback. We've seen City do that before. Arsenal, I think it's possible they can get through. Liverpool, I think, is very possible to get through even if they get the goal down. Barcelona is going to be tricky for Newcastle, but I think they'll give it a shot as well. But yeah, that's the result there as well. And I think I'm watching the Europa League at the moment, Charlie, for your information. And at the moment I'm not even. This is Nottingham Forest, by the way, because they're going against. I'm going to pronounce this, Midtjylland. I'm not even going to try and do that. It's goalless at the moment in the first leg there. Let me look at Crystal Palace. Aston Villa won against Lille away earlier, 1-0 as well. It's 0-0 against Larnaca, Crystal Palace in the Conference League as well. But Aston Villa won against Lille earlier, and obviously they have a 1-goal tie going to their home leg next week as well. At the other moment, it's 0-0 on the rest of for the other British teams in action tonight. So how boring it is. But yeah, that's all what sums up the goodness of the football there as well. And so I actually should mention the Premier League titles that are coming up this weekend as well.
Yeah, this weekend.
Because there are lots of tasty Premier League titles to look forward to this weekend. There's 2 matches, 3, Sunderland, Brighton, Burnley, Bournemouth at 5:30. There's 2 at 5:30 actually. My pick will be Arsenal, Everton on that one. Chelsea, Newcastle is at 5:30 as well. 8 o'clock is West Ham, Manchester City. Very crucial match at both ends of the table there. With West Ham just about putting their hands on the edge of the relegation zone, trying to get out of it, taking on Manchester City as well. And then there are 4 games on the Sunday to look forward to. Pick of my one to look forward to is Manchester United v Aston Villa at 2 o'clock. It's my sort of pick to what I'm going to be watching. Palace v Leeds at 2, Nottingham Forest at 2, and then Liverpool v Tottenham Hotspur. Get the popcorn ready. That's at 4:30 on Sunday as well. And then Monday night concludes with Brentford against struggling Wolves as well. And yeah, that will be that for the Premier League this weekend.
I'll tell you what, if my uncle, who's Chris, is watching this podcast, I bet he's going to get his popcorn out if Tottenham lose against Liverpool. I'm sure many people will be.
Depending, I'm gonna go to the content creators, all the Spurs fans. I'm gonna go and watch all their TikToks, watch all their stuff on social media. If they have anything like the result they've been having over the last couple of weeks, again, 1 point off the relegation zone they are, and they're probably this will be very fun if they do lose on Sunday. They could win. They could all shock us as well. Igor Tudor is under a lot of pressure. My goodness. Would it be hilarious if what happens on Sunday is an absolute shock calamity or whatever? Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, now time to move on and review the Formula One Australian Grand Prix. Yes, we're back in a new generation of Formula One. Oh my God, wasn't it worth interesting, to say the least? I mean, Look, guys, you would have seen on my Motorsport Mayhem podcast the other night the massive rant I had about the 2026 rules.
I didn't see.
And how these cars are 50% electric, 50% combustion. I mean, the super clipping. Did anyone see the onboards into turns 9 and 10 in Australia? They were like full speed and then like, oh no, my battery's dead. I've lost 50 or 60 kph. What the F is this Formula One for you fans? We don't see dive bombs anymore. We don't see close wheel to... Oh, my friend Zach's left the stream. Apologies for that. But, like, what has happened? Zach's joined again.
Sorry, I had a moment there. Apologies for that.
I certainly
I pressed the button and it went a bit boom, so apologies for that.
The rant certainly didn't help there. But I have to say, okay, like... These cars are like, they were off the line. They were like tractors. I mean, they were so slow. Liam Lawson nearly got hit by Franco Colapinto because he was that slow. Colapinto was like, oh no, I've got nowhere to go in my Alpine. And we're millimeters away from having a massive crash at the start. And there have been so many reliability issues. Isaac Hadjar broke down as well. God, I mean, even looking in free practice, McLaren had loads of issues. Williams had issues. They were breaking down like crazy. Like, I mean, they need to increase the allocation of engines. I mean, goodness me. But these energy-starved cars, I don't know how they're going to cope along Shanghai's long 1.2-kilometre back straight, let alone anything when they're super clipping into turn 14. But, oh, man, these rules need... I mean, look, I'm not keen. I want these rules scrapped. I don't want electric power in F1. I want F1 to go back to the old-school engines. Bring back the V10s, bring back the V8s. This electric nonsense doesn't belong in F1. And now they're starting to censor people, F1 are, for their comments. They're hiding tweets. They're hiding God knows what. Honestly, if they could appear on Kit Kat's Easter eggs or Kit Kat products in supermarkets or Doritos products in supermarkets, then they should be ashamed of themselves for what they're doing right now. Sorry, guys. I know I might be ranting all night, but literally, I have seen the comments on social media. I've seen the comments from not just people watching the sport, the fans, Matt and Tommy P1 included, the drivers. Max Verstappen wasn't keen. Even Lando Norris said that these are some of the worst F1 cars he's ever driven. That's coming from last year's world champion. And McLaren, guess what was more embarrassing? Did anyone watch the reconnaissance lap to the grid? Oh no, the curse striked again for Oscar Piastri. 2 years in a row. I mean, he spun off on the reconnaissance lap. And when I saw that, my head went in my hands. Oh, my God. Great. But anyway, it was Mercedes who won that race. And George Russell, well, he certainly had to work for it, even if there was artificial racing at points. Didn't look like they were fighting very much. They just zoomed past each other half the time. Russell won ahead of Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who had a big crash in FP3. Mercedes managed to fix his car up for qualifying, but won that, got second place. Charles Leclerc was third. Ferrari had a great start off the line. But in the end, Mercedes race pace got the better of them. Lewis Hamilton finished fourth. Only very close behind, actually. Could have been his first podium for Ferrari. Lando Norris, 51 seconds adrift of George Russell at the checkered flag. McLaren off the pace. Something clearly issues with deployment. Ollie Behrman, 7th for Haas. A great result for Behrman, who also compared these regulations to Formula E. I agree with you, Ollie. It's Formula E on steroids anyway. But Ollie Behrman was 7th. Arvid Lindblad, great weekend for him, I have to say. Qualifying, showed great pace in qualifying, as well. Great pace over the 3 practice sessions to clinch 8th. Gabriel Bortoleto getting points for Audi as well. By the way, this is kind of like a new team. Well, it's a rebrand of Sauber, but they've got new engines. 9th place for Audi. Gasly got 10th place despite Alpine having issues. Pierre Gasly was 10th. Ocon 11th. Albon 12th. Williams struggling all weekend. Liam Lawson 13th for Franco Colapinto. I'll come on to that. I'm sure Zach will bring that up in a minute in his little digest about the start. That was very chaotic between them two as well. Sergio Carlos Sainz was 2 laps down in 15th. Sergio Perez 3 laps down. The Cadillac clearly having issues with its pace and deployment as well. And Lance Stroll was classified 17th, 15 laps despite an Aston Martin not classified Alonso. Aston Martin's car still feels like half a jigsaw puzzle needs putting back together again as their Honda engines troubles continue. And of course, the retirements I mentioned. Bottas broke down, and Isaac Hadjar retiring after his Red Bull gave way early on in the race. Shame for Hadjar because he done a great qualifying in 3rd. So that's my monologue complete, half-bit ranting. Zach, what was your assessment on the return of the new era of Formula One from Kit Kats to the racetrack?
Well, Kit Kat's a sponsor of F1, by the way. Now, I think it's their deal with their Nestle. That held that to it. And you may see that Doritos is also a partner of F1 now. So there's a few little brands in there getting involved in F1. Anyway, but right here's what I think of the regulations, and here's what I think of the racing so far. So, I don't think that qualifying was good on Saturday. Let's just be honest about that. I don't think that was a good watch on Saturday. I thought that was really. I must admit the clipping on the Australian backstraight was a bit of a really painful watch, and I really didn't like it. I think there's an issue to be sorted out there. No certain about it. But I also think as well, it also came down to the track layout, the fact that there was not a lot of slow speed corners, which means that you couldn't recharge a lot of the battery and you couldn't reharvest a lot of the energy that you could previously do. There was not a lot of zones to do that sort of thing. Most of it was you could do in sector 1, the end of sector 3, for example, where most of the opportunities came. And there was a lack of that available throughout the circuit, no doubt about it. And it was a bit of a painful watch seeing cars lift and coast in the middle of the high speed sections during a qualifying lap. I think that was must admit it didn't look the best. But we do know for certain, looking at what I've seen, that the Mercedes have a beast behind them. They are 8/10 faster than the rest of the field during qualifying, and it showed that they built the car perfectionly as well. Antonelli did a great job of managing to get that car out for qualifying, even with 0 setup and 0 running beforehand after that P3 accident. And they had a little help from Max Verstappen as well, who wrecked his vehicle in the first qualifying through no fault of his own because the car decided to rear lock and spinning out his qualifying was done. But overall, he had a good recovery in the race. I mean, goodness me, 6th position. But on the race itself, I know there's a lot of criticism about the car. I don't think it was a good watch qualifying. I thought it was a better race Sunday, and I thought it was a decent little race actually, because we had the Ferraris that had a really good start, and there was a bit of back and forth between the Mercedes and the Ferrari in the first thing. Now, I think why the race became a little bit more boring towards the end, and I don't think it was too bad. It's that Ferrari, we've heard this before with them. This strategy, man. I mean, why did they not pit under the virtual safety car? Even if they didn't win, they could have at least held the Mercedes back a little bit and made them fight for the race towards the end. I think that's probably why the race wasn't exciting towards the end, because of the fact that Ferrari screwed it up for themselves. Otherwise, if it wasn't for Ferrari screwing it up, I think we could have had a race towards the end. Even if the Mercedes did win, I think we could have seen something really exciting, actually. And everyone would have been justified saying how good these rules are. So overall, I think so far, this package of rules that I think it's right to criticise for the qualifying sort of thing, which I don't think was very good. I think it was a better race package than it was a qualifying package. And I think it showed. And there are, I don't think the drivers are too happy overall. Let's be honest. There's a lot of consensus to drivers that they're just that the balance is not there at the moment. The cars, they're not liking it. There needs to be some adjustments and tweaks made, and they just don't feel comfortable with it at all. I think one element I do like is that look, there's the drivers are having to fight for the cars, which I think is a good element of it. I like the active aero element of it. I think that's really good as well. I think that's drivers are having to like push to actually get overtakes done as well. And there's no DRS, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, overtake is quite easy without DRS made some would say make it too easy. Now we're making the drivers work for it, and it's not bad. They are following each other, which is a good start. And I just hope they're able to keep following each other and not get stuck in dirt when they're in the dirty air, not being too much of a damage as well. So yeah, I so far look, there's a lot of improvements to be made, but overall the race package not bad. That was Australia. Now we move on to China, and actually before I go to China, let's just talk through the others of race. I mean, Ferrari was very good, but it cost them a strategy. Mercedes can be challenged. We've been showing that as well. Red Bull, I mean, Verstappen did well to get up from 20th to 6th. Lando, look, the McLarens are just not very fast at the moment. Let's be honest. They're not really fighting for anything at the moment. They look a bit uncomfortable on the car. They lack that power and performance that they need to be able to fight at the moment. But obviously we know the Aston woes. I mean, at least they've got through a lot more of the race than they expected to this time, which is good, but they need to be finishing races and actually assisting laps as well. Obviously, Ollie Behrman's 7th position. I will say one thing about Lando is that he did well at the end to hold off Verstappen. I will give him some credit on that. He did drive really well to hold off Verstappen, and I think that's a promising sign for McLaren in that sense. If they can hold the Red Bulls off on the tyre wear sort of side of things, then excellent. But yeah, Ollie Behrman 7th, great race for him as overall as well. I think that's a really good result. And congratulations to Arvid Lindblad in 8th position. That was a fantastic result for his first ever race in a race. And I honestly, I watched him and he was a little beast. He was a good little beast. And he got himself in some moments, but he really did. He looked very confident driving that car. And I was mighty impressed with his performance. So well done, Arvid. That was a fantastic performance by him and all aspects of it. Gabriel Bortoleto got points for Audi's first race. That's an excellent job by Audi. And they've got a new engine in all as well. So that's a really good start by Audi. Just a shame about Nico Hülkenberg, who did not start after a few technical issues as well. Oscar Piastri, awful incident. Didn't even make it to the grid. The Australian curse is there as well. Isaac Hadjar was really unfortunate to get a DNF. Unfortunately, Red Bull engine played up on that side of things. That was really unfortunate for him as well. Bottas had a few issues with Cadillac. Sergio Perez made it to the end. I think Perez will be happy that he made it in the end. I think there's a lot. I think even if the team laughed, I think they've seemed really happy. And I think that's a good sign that they're happy for now, that they know they can progress on that side of things as well. Alonso DNF'd as well, got through. Lance Stroll finished 15 laps behind. It was a poor weekend for Williams, let's just be honest about it. Their car's overweight at the moment. Colapinto was 14th. Liam Lawson 13th. Esteban Ocon missing the points just about. Gasly 10th. But goodness me. Lots of things to mention. There's a lot of things to discuss this weekend as well. This weekend is China. Now, will the cars be better this time around in China than they were Australia? I think the answer to this will be yes, because there's a lot of if you look at it and the circuit as well, there's a lot more slower speed corners this time round than there is Australia. There is a lot more balance between the cars. This is a slower sector one. There's you got well a slower front stretch as well. You got a lot more corners in turn one as well. Then you got there's a lot more balance. You got turn 1s and 2 that'll be really slow. Turn 3, 4, and even 6s. And 8, 9, 10 is going to be really slow, and then to 11. Yes, you've got the back stretch as well, which is 1.2 kilometers. But I think overall you're going to find that I think just looking at it, I think the cars will be better on this circuit, and there will be less of a problem with it. Battery will be less of an issue this time than it was Australia, because you've got the depth of slow to medium speed corners and long straights with it as well. But you got the more of the balance, and hopefully that provides less of an issue. There will be a meeting, I think, between the teams, I think, though, decide what to do with the cars moving forward for short-term fixes as well. But overall, I think this will be hopefully a bit better race. And this weekend as well, we've got a sprint weekend. So it's going to be an early start for those who want to watch the sprint. But overall, without the sprint, it's better time. So tomorrow is sprint qualifying. That's at 7:30. Sprint is a brutal time of 3:00 on the Saturday. But if you want to avoid that and watch qualifying 4 hours later at 7, then you're more welcome to do so. That's the main race qualifying. And then Sunday itself is the main race at 7:00 as well. So in the morning. So slightly later, more sociable hours, but still early if you want to do a sprint wake up as well. But there's the track map, as you can see there as well. Straight overtake mode will be triggered at the end of the start finish straight, and then you got, is it 4 straight modes? I think it's 4 straight modes in this one. I think there was 5 in Australia, wasn't there, last time? So this is one less straight mode this time. But I have to say, I think it's better balanced this time around. Let's see what it's like, because I feel like this is a better balance of a circuit. And there are upgrades being bought by teams as well, including Ferrari's rear wing. Now, you may remember in Bahrain, they run that very wild 210-degree rear wing on their active aero. We are going to see that in action here in China for the first time this season. They call it the Macarena rear wing. We are seeing that on Ferrari's car for this weekend. I cannot wait to see what they've done. If they're fast, then they have perfected this. But let's see how it will work to them. We'll see if it does the trick. But the Macarena rear wing is going to be used on a race weekend. I can't wait to see it.
I tell you what, bloody hell! I mean, sorry. This is literally like, I can see straight mode. Literally like, okay, they're going to be on full throttle down this long straight. They'll run out of power before they get to the old DRS side, and they'll be slowing down.
I'm not sure, though. I'm not
Super clipping will happen probably there. It will happen there. And it will certainly, down this straight, there'll be massive clipping. Like, I don't know what to say. But DRS has been scrapped. Welcome to straight mode. Straight mode, a.k.a. Very fast, low downforce, talky mode. Then I run out of power. That's all I'm going to say. So, anyway, that's the Chinese Grand Prix taking place this weekend. Anyway, on to some more positive stuff now. Let's go over the American motorsport news now. We'll come on to the politics very shortly. Let's start with the IndyCar action. They raced on an oval last week in Phoenix. Believe it or not, I think it was a double weekend for the IndyCar and the NASCARs. So we'll kind of combine this up, I suppose. Yes. Joseph Newgarden took the win. It wasn't Alex Palou. It was Joseph Newgarden. So Palou, I don't even think finished the race. I think he was not classified. But yes, the winner of that race went to Joseph Newgarden and Carl Kirkwood, David Malukas. Third there, Pato O'Ward. Fourth in the Aaron McLaren. Fifth, Marcus Armstrong. Sixth, Alexander Rossi. Seventh, Scott Dixon. Eighth, Scott McLaughlin. Graham Rahal was ninth. Kiffin Simpson. Running out of top 10 DNFs there, or not classified, was Palou, Foster, and Grosjean as well. Rena's VK finished 5 laps down. Yeah, Zach, what did you make to this last race in Phoenix? Certainly an interesting race. And what do you think NASCAR, IndyCar should race there again?
Yeah, I think IndyCar needs more ovals, no doubt about it. They need more ovals, not less. And I think because it provides good racing, I think it provides variety and everything like that as well. And they need it. They need to do that sort of thing as well. And I think it's really important to see that sort of thing happening. But the race was not won by Alex Palou. In fact, Alex Palou had an accident this time round. He crashed. Didn't get that far as well. He got to lap 21 and before he had issues as well. Roman Grosjean didn't get that far. I don't think he started the race even, bless him. He had an issue which ruled him out of the race. But Alex Palou finished 24th after winning last time. So Dobson over there as well. But the winner of that one was Jason Newgarden. Well done to him. 5 pit stops overall and yet still came out the winner. Took advantage of those cautions and only 8 laps led, and those last laps were the most important ones. And he took advantage and he won it as well. He finished ahead of Kyle Kirkwood, who finished in 2nd position. David Malukas, 3rd. Pato Ward, 4th. Marcus Armstrong, 5th position. As well, with Alexander Rossi in 6th, Scott Dixon 7th, Scott McLaughlin, Graham Raven, and Griffin Simpson in 10th as well. Only 15 on the lead lap as well. The rest didn't manage to finish it all anyway. But yeah, good race. I'm pleased here Phoenix was back on the calendar as well. And next up is this weekend, I should say. It's the first time visit. They're going to the streets of Arlington for the very first time. Outside the AT&T Stadium as well. It's the Grand Prix of Arlington. I have to say, wow, it does look pretty cool. Just from the pictures I've seen, it looks quite interesting. There's a lot of wild corners in that one. It's a 2.73 mile track layout as well. Outside of the outside the AT&T Stadium, which is home of the Dallas Cowboys as well, and it's also all past the Globe Life Field, which is also home to the Texas Rangers for Major League Baseball. And yeah, it will include a split pit lane and a technical horseshoe as well. That's something to keep an eye out from as well. But yeah, the layout was very, very interesting. And I think it'll produce some good racing, hopefully, as well, just from the looks of it. So hopefully it delivers a result. And it's going to be the first time they visit this sort of thing as well. It's the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington this weekend. It's on at 4:30 UK time this Sunday as well, for those who want to be interested on it. That's on Sky Sports F1 here in the UK.
And that's also my birthday as well. So thank you, IndyCar, on my birthday. Honestly, I actually can't wait for it. Genuinely, I'm looking forward to more of that than the F1 actually. So I literally can't wait for the IndyCar. Who's excited for IndyCar this weekend? Come on out, come on, Pato. Let's see if we can get the win. Anyway, moving on now to NASCAR. They also raced, I think, at Phoenix as well. Now the Cup Series, the reign of Reddick finally, Tyler Reddick's reign finally ended. On the 8th of March, Ryan Blaney took the win ahead of Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Tyler Reddick was actually 8th in the end. By the way, Tyler Reddick still leads the championship on overall points. Michael McDowell was 9th, Eric Jones was 10th, and Van Gisbergen just finishing outside the top 10, despite improving on ovals, I have to say, even though his result wasn't as good as the other races, finishing 2nd in Cota the other week. Yeah, Zach, obviously I haven't watched this race. I haven't watched the highlights, so I don't know what much happened. It seemed like an interesting race.
Yeah, it was. I have to say, it was quite a packed race, and we had a different winner. And at last, Ryan Blaney managed to, just get those last laps correct and win the race. Didn't finish that far ahead of Christopher Bell in 2nd position, Carl Larson 3rd. But anyway, Ty Gibbs, who won the last 3 races, is still finished in the top 5 in 4th position. still mighty impressive by Ty Gibbs. An incredible run for him. Denny Hamlin 5th, Bubba Wallace 6th. Good result for there. William Byron 7th, Tyler Reddy 8th, Michael McDowell 9th, and Eric Jones 10th. There was a lot of cautions, by the way. A lot of cautions and a lot of wrecks. Chase Briscoe was one of them. Noah Gregson, Cole Custer, Austin Stender, Alfie Alfredo, Josh Berry, Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, Connor Zilich all got caught up in various wrecks and incidents throughout the race. Yeah, it was a pretty chaotic race at times as well, and it was very, very messy at points. Let's not deny it as well. It was quite a messy race, but good race, I have to say, no doubt. I think it was a good race, and yeah, and we're good to see we have a different winner this time around as well. This Sunday they're going to be at Las Vegas as well. It's the Goodyear 400.
Yeah.
No, not the Goodyear 400. The Pennzoil 400. Sorry, my thing went a bit ahead of myself.
Presented by Jiffy Lube, yes.
The Jiffy Lube, yeah, very funny name as well. There is the truck series is off until next week, but we have the Auto National O'Reilly Auto Parts series in action as well. They call itself the Luna. That's one at 9:30 in the UK, 8 o'clock on the Sunday for the Cup series as well. Yeah, that's on Sunday. So yeah, Las Vegas. We'll be looking forward to that one as well.
Not for F1 cars, for NASCARs. Definitely interesting on that. But also as well, some news I just want to bring you before we move on to politics. So Alex Bowman will remain sidelined, and Justin Allgaier will drive the number 48 car for the Las Vegas race there. And it'll be for the second consecutive week as he's been out with Vertigo, number 48 Chevrolet Camaro there, which will be driven by Justin Allgaier, vacated, of course, by Alex Bowman. Now moving on to the politics now. Lots happened over the last week in politics. Obviously, we've had the current issues, but I also want to go over my villain of the week this week, which really is going to be what's been happening in Iran. I have to say, I think Iran's attacks on cities and stuff are going up. But my main villain of the week this week goes to this. Funnily enough, there's been a shooting in a suspect who attacked a Michigan synagogue is dead. And security guard, the suspected attacker is dead after West Bloomfield police have announced. I have to say, this is the main villain of the week. Person who tried to shoot down a temple in Michigan. It's going to be winning my plank. I think my plank of the week, the villain of the week this week. Trump calls the Michigan synagogue attack a terrible thing. That was the news as well. From that, we also had news as well. UK troops at Iraq base shot down by Iranian drones. Defense Secretary Nick Healy said as well. And also, embarrassing, Prime Minister said Mandelson appointment was a mistake. Oh my God, Keir Starmer actually saying he was made a mistake to appoint Lord Mandelson, who, by the way, had linked to Jeffrey Epstein, into his role as ambassador to the United States. And I mean, Keir Starmer, in my opinion, should resign over that. He should have resigned a long time ago. But that is not a good look on the Labour Party. I'm sure Zach will have something to say about that. And he certainly will win my villain of the week for that as well. In a nutshell, Zach, lots of news over this week. Certainly what's been happening in the Middle East. Questions around the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix potentially being cancelled. Do you think they'll be cancelled? Or what do you think as well in the rest of the week's headlines?
Yeah, on the Bahrain and Saudi races, I think they probably will be cancelled. I saw some whispers saying that they may try and do Saudi anyway because it's not exactly the area where the race is not exactly. There's not been any issues. It's not exactly in the war zone area, and there hasn't been any problems there. I understand that. Although it might still be a bit of a stretch to get Saudi on, we'll see. I don't think Bahrain will go ahead. I think it's just too risky with Bahrain. It's right next to the centre. There's no way Bahrain's going to go ahead that as well. But yeah, lots of news stories this week. Obviously, once again, global politics dominates the headlines with Iran, Israel, and the United States military action. We have seen, if we're going to do an honest assessment, we have seen US and Israel's actions in Iran militarily have been very successful. Let's not deny that they've been very successful. There's a lot more attacks on ships in the sea, Iranian ships in the sea. A lot of ROGC commanders have been eliminated as well. Some of their launch pads have been completely destroyed. Obviously, as well, some of the facilities that the Iran's used to target use nuclear stuff as well is also been targeted. But yeah, on the military side of success, but on the other Iranian side again, once again they're going on a deranged tirade against their Middle East countries and Gulf countries, despite the fact they said they'll stop doing it, and they're still doing it. And also as well, the new leader is the son of the one that just got killed. He hasn't been killed yet, the son, but I can't imagine he'll be lasting that long in the role at the moment. And there's a bit more worrying as well, if you want to be otherwise concerned. The impact of what's happening in Iran is having an impact here as well. I want to show you the fuel price, the oil prices as well. Let's have a look at that. Crude oil prices today were, very high. Last time I just checked the Brent crudes, it is $101 a barrel. $101 a barrel for Brent crude oil. That is high. In fact, one point this week, it's been a roller coaster of oil prices. The conflict started, so it's about, let's say, $70 a barrel before the conflict. You can see this graph here. Then after the conflict started, the oil prices went up to $80. Then it kept going up and up and up as contact continued. And then over the weekend, as the Strait of Hormuz had issues as well, then the shippers went down as well. One point, the oil prices reached $120 a barrel. That's how much it did. Then the G7 saying that they're going to meet to possibly release some reserves, some barrels of oil from the reserves. That chucked the prices down as well. Then there was an ex-post which dipped the oil prices even further about US Navy escorting the oil tankers, but that turned out to be not true. But unfortunately, there's been further incidents as well. The Straits of Hormuz, there's now possibility of mine in the Straits of Hormuz, and with other tankers getting done as well. The oil prices have been going up today. And the result of this is, let me see the current price as well. It's at 100 and, well, actually, it's actually currently at $97 a barrel. Today at the moment, it closed, I think, about 102. Well, actually, it's 100. This is crude oil. The Brent oil is at 101.2. It's up 10% Brent oil. Just today alone. If we go to today as well, if we went up to yesterday, it was at goodness me, it was at 80 something. Now it's back up to $102. And with the impact of that, it's having as well. Do you know what oil means? Increased oil prices do? Increases your fuel prices as well. As well. In fact, the fuel prices have been going up as well. Let me just give you an example of this as well. Fuel prices are going up as well. Those requiring a spot of unleaded could expect on Wednesday. Some of them were paying £1.70 a litre for unleaded. Diesel drive £1.82 a litre on the M1 as well. That is the concerning bit of news as well, that the fuel prices are going up. The average wide at the moment, it's likely to rise as well. The current fuel prices, average ones as well, is at 139 for unleaded and 157 for diesel at the moment. With super unleaded 155. They are forecasting this at the moment. It's likely to rise at the moment as well. And at the moment, it's gone from when the war started. It's gone up. The fuel price has gone up by an average of 12 point. So unleaded has gone up by 6p a litre since the war started in Iran, and it's also gone up by 12.74% litres as well here at petrol pumps. So a direct impact for drivers, motorists. In fact, the AA I think came out on Monday and said that drivers should not do any non-essential travel. That's how much they're right about the fuel prices. But yeah, that's on the Iran side. On the UK sort of side of things, there's been a development. The first bunch of Madison files have been released this week. Doesn't look pretty for the Prime Minister at all with the vetting process as well. All sides don't look brilliant. It's the vetting process. I think it's clear to see that I don't get how Keir Starmer even reported him in the first place. I think it looks really bad on him on the vetting side. He just looked really damning that he knew some of this, and yet he still appointed him as well. And he got pushed back in from his own national security advisor, Jonathan Powell. So they found the process of his appointment unusual and worrying. Yeah, not good. And then there was Peter Mandelson himself demanded, I think it was, how much did he demand? He demanded £500,000 severance pay, something like that as well. But he got 75,000 in. I mean, that's a shocking amount that he demanded. It's what one greedy little idiot out of the whole lot of this as well. A greedy little idiot he is. And there's some really shocking things in here at the moment as well with these files. This is just the first bunch, by the way. There's going to be more to come, I think, as well. Mandelson played hardball over his severance pay. Starmer knew about Manson's post-jail link to Epstein. Mandelson was offered sensitive briefings before his vetting was completed. I mean, that's awful. Awful. I mean, how on earth did he get the guy that was friends with a pedo? Getting these briefings before he's even been appointed, I think that's shocking. They should not be having these briefings before they're appointed. You only should get these before you should be. If you're appointed, if you're not appointed, you shouldn't be having them. I think that's shocking, and really, really right on that front as well. But yeah, oh dear me, yeah. I have to say, so that's what we saw as things are. That's just the first bunch of files that's been released, but the others are still under investigation by the Intelligence and Security Committee, and some are being withheld because the police can't as well, because there's an active criminal investigation into Peter Mandelson at the moment whilst this all happens. So, yeah, very shocking overall stuff from what we've seen for the first bunch so far.
Wow, embarrassing to say the least on that one, I know for a fact. Now it's time for a musical interlude. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. And this week's musical interlude is going to be a song that I'm sure you all going to want to listen to. It is a song by Alex Warren. This is Ordinary. We'll see you in a few minutes.
That's all right.
They say the holy water's watered down. This town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually. So if our time is running out, day after day, we'll make the Monday our masterpiece. Oh my, oh my love. I take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to dead bed. On the edge of your night, staying drunk on your mind. There's up in the clouds, I just know. hallelujah. This side of heaven's gate. Yeah, oh, you lay me down to a dead bed on the edge of your night, staying drunk and violent. The angels up in the clouds are jealous, knowing we.
Alex Warren there with Ordinary on Spotify. A nomination for Song of the Year, International Song of the Year at the Brit Awards in 2026. Zach, what did you make that song? It's a very, I think it's quite a powerful song, actually. It's actually a pretty decent hit.
Yeah, and as well, he's one of the biggest hits of last year. I'm surprised it didn't get much awards as it did, to be fair, be honest. I have to say it was great. I mean, it's a very popular song. TikTok lapped it up. It was not a surprise overall. It was a great song.
Yes, obviously that one got a Brit Award, didn't it? Nomination. Sadly, it didn't win the International Song of the Year. I think that went to Bruno Mars and APT there as well. So, yes. Anyway, moving on now to the conversation street this week. We're talking this week about Gordon Ramsay.
Oh.
Yes, Gordon Ramsay, of all people, yes. I promise not to swear. That would be my take. Now, obviously, I want to quickly mention about a couple of things. Now, the first thing, obviously, is the documentary, which is on Netflix right now. It's a 6-episode documentary about Gordon Ramsay, the chef from, obviously, born in Scotland. Obviously, he's one of the biggest chefs in the world, actually, Gordon Ramsay. He owns multiple restaurants in America, the UK. You might be familiar with his street burger restaurants, where he's got the famous Hell's Kitchen burger in there. And you also might be known for his fish and chips. He does have fish and chip places in America. Obviously, here in the UK, he's got some restaurants. And obviously, Gordon Ramsay is a chef that is coming up to 60 years old this year, as well. And the documentary is obviously on Netflix. It talks really about, the behind-the-scenes look of his life, and in the documentary, he's actually going to be opening a brand new complex in London as well, where he focuses on, apparently he's going to be launching a new restaurant. It is going to be called, I believe, according to this, I've actually thought it's going to be 22 Bishopsgate, which is basically going to have like a Gordon Ramsay Academy. It's going to have a new Asian restaurant, new Asian cuisine. He's also going to have, as well, just some brand new restaurants. I think it's going to be 5 new restaurants, including a retractable roof terrace. I was watching the first episode. I've seen the first episode. It's a very, very interesting documentary. I need to see more of the episodes to get an idea of what it's like. But obviously, if you don't know Gordon Ramsay, he's known for Kitchen Nightmares. He's known for Hell's Kitchen. He's basically one of the biggest cooks in the world and one of the toughest cooks. He's always there checking out. In Kitchen Nightmares, he goes around these horrible restaurants and tries to help them out. Restaurants that are very understaffed, underfunded, that bring out terrible food. And whether it's a badly cooked rotten lamb or lobster or a lamb that's done in a microwave by Chef Mike, you know, at the end of the day. It's not ideal, but, you know, this documentary is definitely one to watch for Netflix viewers. I know there might be some people out there not fans of Gordon Ramsay for other chefs, maybe Eugenio Campos and stuff, or, yeah, Marco Peri Whites or whatever. But this is the documentary here, 6 episodes. Obviously, as well, there are other things you can watch of Gordon Ramsay's out. What do you make to Gordon Ramsay? He's a very powerful chef, but the documentary as well on Netflix is definitely an interesting watch, as he also sets out to potentially make his biggest business venture yet. And even there'll be an episode featuring Adam Peaty as well.
Yeah, I haven't watched this yet, but I'm keen to watch this because obviously we know how Gordon Ramsay, subjects and memes, everything, just iconic lines that I can't repeat on the air, obviously, and I don't want to do that, but it's very, very good anyway. But yeah, so much, and this is seen like different sides to Gordon Ramsay. He tries to do, like, you know, build a new restaurant and everything like that, try and get all on time and all that sort of thing, get the service right. See how successful it does and everything like that as well. Yeah, I think it'll be a fascinating watch from my perspective, and then I just think it will show this different side of him that hopefully we don't normally see as well. It's still the determination side, but also the family side of things as well. I think it's lovely. I think it'll be lovely to see, and it's a different element that we don't often see. So yeah, I think it'll be good to watch.
Yes, and obviously, you know, he's a chef. I mean, he's known for a lot of other things as well. You know, he's known obviously for making fish and chips and burgers. I mean, that these fish and chip restaurants and burgers, there's so many like street burger restaurants. Obviously, they're very popular. Street burgers kind of popular over here, and obviously fish and chips are popular in America. But I will not lie, they are pretty pricey for what you get.
Yeah, and the variety of them is incredible, because somewhere you'd think Gordon Ramsay sticks to usual lobster risotto, blah 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 blah. No, he does more than that. I mean, he's a very targeted man. I mean, you know what the business sort of ventures that he wants to do, and what he feels like is in the market and current as well. And he's a very current man, and he knows something like that. It's just so much. I mean, I've never been to street burger restaurants, and I don't know what's on it. But there's a lot of different burgers. You got the Wellingtons, the prawns, it's very typical Gordon Ramsay, to be fair, as well. The idiot burger's on there as well. The famous idiot burger is on the menu. Oh, that's so good, actually. That is the one where she put over the burgers and her ears, and what she said. He went, "What are you?" And she went, "An idiot burger." She's famously, they're selling that on the menu. Fair play, excellent. I'd buy if I went there as well. Although, to be fair, I probably won't, because it's got meaty stuff in it. It's a bit of a shame. But anyway, yeah, it's yay. Yeah, very much a burger film menu as well. And look at that, the idiot burger on there. Fantastic. Next level as well is the next level chef as well. But yeah, fantastic. I love it.
These are the desserts on offer as well. I thought I'd show you.
What's the dessert?
The desserts. Look at that. Chocolate brownie.
That's typical desserts anyway.
£8 sticky toffee pudding. He actually says, Gordon actually says, I think it's one of his favourite desserts.
Oh, yeah. Bottomless ice cream. And they've got new chocolate brownies and cheesecake. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Put that in my basket, I'd say. Because they're all delicious.
And if you want to know where the restaurants are, well, here's the ones in the UK for you. The street burger restaurants. These are actually located in, I think there's one up there in Scotland. There's obviously one at the O2 Arena in London. You also don't just have, you got Edinburgh, Farringdon, Liverpool, Reading, St Paul's, obviously the O2 as well. It's very expensive, £15 for a burger. I'm not sure. I had one at McDonald's the other day, a chicken sandwich, which the bottom of the bun was slightly burned and overdone. But like I said, you don't just have them restaurants as well. If you want another Gordon Ramsay exclusive, you also have in America, Las Vegas famously has one, Gordon Ramsay's Fish and Chips. You know, I mean, these restaurants are very interesting, okay, because, you know, I've seen the menu. This is the menu in the fish and chip place. which I thought I'd get up for you now, actually, whilst I'm here. This is the fish and chip menu, if you have a look. This is the one in Las Vegas. There's actually, there's one in Orlando. Let's go for the Vegas one. Here we got $21 fish, 3 pieces of crispy cod, shrimp, 5 pieces of cod shrimp, lobster, 2 pieces of crispy lobster. You got sausage, 3 crispy battered sausages, 3 pieces of crispy chicken, naan bread, avocado, tomato relish with fish witch. That menu. That menu sounds a bit confusing compared to the street burger. It definitely sounds a bit different.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely different. And but the thing is, they love that sort of thing over there. They love their fish and chip combos and all that sort of thing. I like a little bit of a different combo as well. I think it's a nice mix, but it's different as well. And it's yeah, it is also very interesting. I have to say, looking at it, it's a very scrumptious menu. If I'm honest, it's a very.
I wonder if you've got a lot of money to play with. $21 for one of them. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't look a lot. Maybe it's bigger on the inside. Maybe a lot of the fries or the chips.
It's probably bigger than that.
I wonder if he uses either homemade fries or fries that you get in the supermarket. No, they're probably not in the supermarket. I mean, they're Gordon Ramsay. They're probably the highest quality fries you're going to buy. You know, he uses a lot of these ingredients, particularly in the street burger. But at the end of the day, you know, it's either homemade or they're like Chinese, like thin chips. I'd say they're probably like looking like that chunky chips. Maybe they're slightly chunky on the inside. I do like my chunky chips now and again. I mean, I don't get the ones from Tesco or Asda or supermarkets, the frozen ones. Oh my God, the frozen ones are bloody hard and crunchy. You know, so yes. Anyway, guys, comment down below where you've been. Have you been to a restaurant like a street burger or a fish and chip place? Let me know in the comments. I'd understand that. Now, the final bit we're going to do of tonight's show is the darts. I thought I'd give you an update on the Premier League action now, which takes place this week at the Nottingham's Motorpoint Arena as well. Zach, there's been some big matches tonight in the Premier League darts, including potentially, according to this, a final on the cards.
Yeah, the final this week appears to be Johnny Clayton and Luke Humphreys. Luke Humphreys actually beat Luke Littler in the semi-final, would you believe it or not, as well. And then Johnny Clayton beat Stephen Bunting in the semi as well to go through. So it's Clayton v Humphreys in the final. This would be, if Humphrey wins it, would be his first victory of the season as well. Looking at it, so yeah, unfortunately, Van Gerwen got knocked out. Van Veen got knocked out early on as well. Yeah, Josh Rock's got 0 points at the moment going into week after 7 weeks, unfortunately for him. Yeah, it's just not going so far. I thought it'd be good, he'd be threatening here, but it's just not going as well as he thought so far for Josh Rock, which is a bit unfortunate. It's interesting. It depends on the result. Either Luke Little will still be second despite his first poor run of forms, first of all. Oh, Johnny Clayton will still be coming up ahead as well. But yeah, Johnny Clayton, first in the Premier League at the moment. Oh, goodness me. Who would have thought that? I mean, Johnny Clayton running incredibly well for what it's worth. He's not in the Premier League in a year, and he's smashing it so far. Fair play to him. He's done really, really well. And you can tell by the way he's playing. He's doing excellently.
Yes, I mean, it's certainly been an interesting night. And I mean, I watched the Josh Rock and I watched the Stephen Bunting Josh Rock game, and Josh Rock was could have been whitewashed in that. He was just not scoring well, trebleless in some visits, and Bunting, despite missing quite a few darts, I think he missed 3 or 4 darts match darts to win. He managed to win it 6-1. It was a convincing performance from Bunting. It's a shame because Josh Rock played well at the weekend, against Luke Littler in the UK Open, which obviously Luke Littler won at Butlins Minehead at the weekend. But yes, it just didn't seem to be in the groove tonight, did Josh Rock, sadly. But obviously, Van Gerwen got knocked out. Humphreys beat Littler, the winner at last weekend's event as well. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to say the least on that one. And that is it, guys, for the Tonight Show podcast night. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've all had a great show and enjoy all the action, including the F1 and many more things this weekend. That's it, folks, for me and Zach tonight here on YouTube. Take care, everyone, and have a great night. See you next time for another edition of the show. Take care and goodbye.